Whew, boys, it's been really busy over the past couple of weeks. I mean, it always is this time of year, especially if you work at a grocery store like I do. Also, does any of you old timers know what this is? Surely we got some older folks in the chat that might know what this thing is. This is another reason why I've been really busy. Here's a hint, it's from a truck. Anyway, it's been a few days since I made a video, but it's been a few days since crypto has really moved. And now it looks like we might be getting ready to continue the parabolic part of this bull run again. Like I said, Bitcoin could come down a little bit, but I figured that pretty much any dip is going to be a great buy the dip opportunity. And as retail continues to re-enter the market, I think we're probably going to start hearing people say the buy the dip thing, just like we did whenever things got super hyphy in the last bull run. Did I say hyphy? Anyway, I've been hearing a lot of people talk about how they think that we're pretty much in the euphoric part of this bull run already, and it feels like it did in the last one, but I'm really not seeing it. Don't get me wrong, we've been seeing some pretty legendary rug pulls, I guess. There's this thing that's called Pump Fund that people have been really hyping up, and apparently, up until recently, you could go over there and do live streams while you made a coin, and then you could pump on your community and then just dump on them right there on a live stream. And that was pretty much the cool thing to do. We had people doing weird stuff like acting like they have no hands so they can't actually sell. And then during the live stream, they'll just go and click the sell button. And yeah, this definitely does feel like euphoria if you have people doing stupid stuff like this. And there is probably a little bit of euphoria going on. And like I said, retail's re-entering the market. And that's probably why. Crypto only catches the attention of retail investors whenever things are really exciting like this and stupid stuff is going on. And this is the kind of stuff that goes viral and actually brings the attention back to the crypto space, unfortunately. And after all of the normie style degens re-enter the market, that's whenever there's no one left to buy and then things sell off. We've even had little kids, 12-year-olds doing this kind of stuff.
Yo, he's saying no way, he's getting cookie.
Oh my fuck!
Look at him, he's so
He just flipped off the stream and he's taking off 30K. He just sold 30K.
He's twerking over that!
Well, that's a weird...
Yo, he's twerking over...
What the heck, dude? I don't think he looked like he was twerking. That's a weird thing to say. Anyway, $30,000, that's really great for a 12-year-old, I think. I mean, how many of you guys were making $30,000 on the internet when you were 12? Not to mention we had the epic rug pull that was the Hak coin, and she hasn't even been on X in like a week since that happened. So we're starting to get celebrities, I guess, coming back into the market. I don't know if you could really call Hak girl, whatever, Haley Welsh, a celebrity. I mean, I guess she technically is at this point, but we'll see how long that lasts. And in the last bull market, we had real big celebrities like Larry David and Kim Kardashian and a whole bunch of other ones getting into cryptocurrency. But we haven't seen that yet. And crypto exchanges aren't putting their names on arenas again yet. I don't think it's going to look exactly like it did, but you get the point. I think we still have a long way to go in this hype cycle. But it looks like a lot of things are starting to go viral for the crypto space again. And as Donald Trump continues to nominate a bunch of pro-cryptocurrency people to the government, I think once we start seeing these confirmations and more good news rolls in, then we're probably going to continue seeing the retail investors re-enter in the market, especially if Bitcoin can actually stay above $100,000 this time. Don't worry though, looking at the chart, I think we still have this price target to look forward to of $120,000 because that is the price target for this cup and handle. And as Bitcoin continues its run, I think we're going to continue seeing altcoins ripping, and things are probably going to be getting pretty wild from here. We've got people calling for $1 Dogecoin again, and with Elon Musk heading up the Doge, honestly, I'm surprised that Doge isn't already ripping a lot harder than it has been. And I guess it does make a little bit of sense that it's been struggling around about 42 cents, because that's 420, the meme, and this is the original meme coin. But once it can break through this level, I think it's going to be headed to the next meme number, and that's 69 cents, which is pretty close to the all-time high. And once we can break through that, I think $1 is pretty much a done deal. Speaking of Elon Musk, a lot of people have been saying that Elon Musk is wrong and the government hasn't actually been attacking the cryptocurrency space. According to this article on Axios, it says, did a group of Democratic politicians, principal among them Elizabeth Warren, deliberately cripple the crypto industry by forcing banks to debank those companies and their executives? There's a short answer and a long answer to that question. The short answer is no. Well, it's not just Elon Musk saying that this has been happening, and if you've been paying attention to crypto and have been in this space for the past few years, then you know already Elizabeth Warren has been having a war against cryptocurrency with her own self-proclaimed anti-crypto army. Of course, politicians like Elizabeth Warren have been pushing the banks to continue their crusade against cryptocurrency as well. And honestly, they don't even have to do that because it's in the bank's own interest to do this kind of thing. Cryptocurrency is their biggest competitor at this point, and they're terrified that Bitcoin is going to continue to grow because if people can be their own banks, well, then the banks are going to be out of business. Why do they get to take a bunch of your money just because you want them to hold on to your money? Really, they want to hold on to your money, and they should be giving you money for the privilege. But instead, they give you all kinds of fees just for having an account. And if you get an overdraft in those accounts, then they charge you more money whenever you already obviously don't have any. They're just predatory institutions, and it's about time that they stop manipulating us. Not to mention the way that they print money, because the money that they lend out isn't actually money that they have in a vault somewhere or something like that. They just make the money up out of thin air, and that's probably where most of the money actually comes from that's been devaluing our currency. So like I said, if they want to continue to be able to print money and they want to be able to continue having control over your money, then of course they're going to be attacking cryptocurrency businesses because they want the only businesses that exist to have to do business with them so that they can take a share of the profits. It only makes sense. So of course the banks are waging an anti-crypto war, but the politicians definitely have their hand in it. And I could explain it to you, but honestly, let me show you someone who can explain it to you in a smarter way than I can because he's smarter than me.
And then my favorite twist is we have this thing called independent federal agencies. So like, for example, we have this thing called the Consumer Finance Protection Bureau, CFPB, which was it's sort of Elizabeth Warren's personal agency that she gets to control. And it's an independent agency that just gets to run and do whatever it wants, right? And if you read the Constitution, like there is no such thing as an independent agency.
That's exactly right. This is Mark Andreessen, if you didn't know, and he's obviously on the Joe Rogan Experience right now. And I actually keep the Constitution right here on my desk. And right here in Article 1, Section 1, it says, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. That means that Congress makes the laws. It doesn't say the SEC or the CFTC or any other stupid-ass agency that shouldn't be in existence. The Congress is supposed to be running this country, but they don't actually do jack shit. So it's time that we should take back the power. This country belongs to the people, and so does the government. They should be working for us, and the stuff that Mark Andreessen is about to talk about should never, ever be allowed to happen.
And yet there it is.
What does her agency do?
Whatever she wants.
What does it do, though?
Basically, terrorize financial institutions, prevent fintech, prevent new competition, new startups that want to compete with the big banks.
Really?
Oh yeah, 100%.
How so?
Just by terrorizing anybody who tries to do anything new in financial services.
Can you give me an example?
Well, I guess, debanking. This is where a lot of the debanking comes from, is these agencies. So debanking is when you as either a person or your company are literally kicked out of the banking system.
This kind of stuff happens all the time, and cryptocurrency can actually offer you the ability to escape that kind of a system. That's exactly why the banks are scared, and they're trying to debank these people so that they can't actually innovate for cryptocurrency, so that everybody doesn't just debank themselves. As cryptocurrency continues to rise in popularity and people realize that things like Bitcoin can actually offer them a way to store their money where it's not going to continue being devalued and nobody can actually get control over it or take it away from you, then why the hell would they ever want to keep their money in a bank where they can just take it away from you at a moment's notice and it actually doesn't even belong to you because you gave it to them? It's theirs now. Not to mention all of the corruption that happens with banks, like JP Morgan manipulating the price of silver. The big banks have way too much power, and it's about time that changed.
They did to Kanye.
Exactly, like they did to Kanye. My partner Ben's father has been debanked.
Really?
We had an employee who
For what?
For having the wrong politics, for saying unacceptable things. Under current banking regulations, here's a great thing. Under current banking regulations, after all the reforms of the last 20 years, there's now a category called a politically exposed person, PEP.
Honestly, that's people like you and me. If you don't think that people that pay attention to crypto are going to be on their list, and especially since crypto has become so partisan, if the people that's been running things over the past few years continue to be in charge, of course they're going to come after people like you and me. People like you and me are the problem, and they want to put us in chains before we actually have the opportunity to escape.
And if you are a PEP, you are required by financial regulators to kick them off of to kick them out of your bank.
What?
You're not allowed
But
to
what
have
if you're politically on the left?
Well, that's fine.
No.
because
Really?
they're not politically exposed.
So no one on the left gets debanked?
I have not heard of a single instance of anyone on the left getting debanked.
Can you tell me what the person that you know did, what they said that got them debanked?
Oh, well, I mean, David Horowitz is a right wing. He's pro-Trump. I mean, he said all kinds of things. He's been very anti-Islamic terrorism. He's been very worried about migration, all these things.
And they debanked.
You see that flag behind me? Supposedly, if you have an American flag around you, then that makes you a white supremacist these days. And yeah, I voted for Trump. Of course I did. The other side actively hates people like me and is doing anything they can to attack all of the things that I care about. Donald Trump, on the other hand, promised to embrace cryptocurrency technology, and I can see that America has been on the decline, so of course I want to make America great again.
Banked him for
Yeah,
that.
they debanked it. So you get kicked out of your bank account. You get kicked out of you can't do credit card transactions. By the way, you can't
How
run.
is that legal?
Well, exactly. So this is the thing, and then you go in this thing of like, well, this is where the government and the companies get intertwined. Back to your fascism point, which is there's a constitutional amendment that says the government can't restrict your speech, but there's no constitutional amendment that says the government can't debank you, right? And so if they can't do the one thing, they do the other thing, and then they don't have to debank you. They just have to put pressure on the private company banks to do it. And then the private company banks do it because they're expected to. But the government gets to say, we didn't do it. It was the private company that did it. And of course, JP Morgan can decide who they want to have as customers, of course, right? Because they're a private company. And so it's this sleight of hand that happens. So it's basically, it's a privatized sanctions regime that lets bureaucrats do to American citizens the same thing that we do to Iran.
Just think about the implications of this. This is probably why cryptocurrency had such a bad bear market. As a matter of fact, this is one of the main reasons why I think we could be entering a golden age for cryptocurrency. Just listen to what they've been doing and then think about how high the price of Bitcoin and other cryptos would actually be if they haven't been attacking us so hard.
Whoa.
Just kick you out of the financial system. And so this has been happening to all the crypto entrepreneurs in the last 4 years. This has been happening to a lot of the fintech entrepreneurs, anybody trying to start any kind of new banking service, because they're trying to protect the big banks. And then this has been happening, by the way, also in legal fields of economic activity that they don't like.
Of course they're trying to protect the banks. It's not just in the bank's best interest, but the banks give all kinds of money to these politicians and they don't want that money to dry up. So the banks have made it in the politicians' best interest to protect them, of course.
And so a lot of this started about 15 years ago with this thing called Operation Choke Point, where they decided to, as marijuana started to become legal, as prostitution started to become legal, and then guns, which there's always a fight about. Under the Obama administration, they started to debank legal marijuana businesses, escort businesses, and then gun shops, just like your gun manufacturers, and just like you're done, you're out of the banking system.
First of all, the gun manufacturers should be able to do business. That goes against our Second Amendment rights, them attacking the gun manufacturers, because how the hell are we going to get our guns if they don't make them? That's part of their plan, obviously. If they can make it to where you can't buy some things, then they can't say that they just took it away from you or took away your right to have it. But at least with guns, they're really easy to make. I mean, all you really need is like a pipe and a nail so you can hit the primer. But with crypto, it's a lot harder to actually make your own cryptocurrency, or at least one that's going to protect you from the shenanigans that the banks are engaged with. But also, I actually used to live in Colorado, and I remember whenever they made weed legal there, and the legal dispensaries who actually had like licenses and everything to do their business kept getting broken into and robbed because people knew that they just had all this cash laying around. They couldn't take it to the bank. they weren't allowed to have a bank account, so they had to deal in mostly cash, and it just put a target on their back. No matter how much you're trying to follow the law, if they don't agree with what you're doing, then they're going to attack you on every front. And hopefully with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's Doge, maybe they can actually get something taken care of so that we don't actually have to deal with all of these regulations. And then maybe the government can stay at least a little more out of our business so that we can actually innovate and America can continue to thrive. If not, then honestly, I don't even think there's any hope for this country. So I hope they really do get this stuff taken care of. And maybe then, not only can we see a golden age for cryptocurrency, but another golden age for America as well.
And so if you're running a medical marijuana dispensary in 2012, like you, guess what? You're doing your business all in cash because you literally can't get a bank account. You can't get a Visa terminal. You can't process transactions. You can't do payroll. You can't do direct deposit. You can't get
Working with cash with a target on your back. It's crazy.
insurance. Like none of that stuff is, you've been sanctioned, right? None of that stuff is available. And then this administration extended that concept to apply it to tech founders, crypto founders, and then just generally political opponents.
Exactly. The Biden administration has actually sanctioned the crypto industry.
So, yeah, so that's been like super pernicious.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, 100%. And this is called, so it was Operation Choke Point 1.0 was 15 years ago against the pot and the guns. Choke Point 2.0 is primarily against their political enemies and then to their disfavored tech startups. And it's hit.
And I was telling you guys about Choke Point 2.0 whenever it started happening a couple years ago. It was really abstract and hard to actually tell if it was really even going on at the time. But now I feel pretty vindicated, and it's great to hear that we weren't really just crazy and we did know what was going on. Elizabeth Warren was waging her anti-crypto army war, and they were doing anything they could to actually hold this industry down. So yeah, Elon Musk was right. We were seeing Democratic politicians attacking the cryptocurrency industry, and now with the Republicans being back in charge with a clean sweep, hopefully we can actually see innovation happening in this space now, and maybe we're actually in for the super cycle that a lot of people have been waiting for. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are we actually in for a super cycle and a golden age for cryptocurrency? And is Elon Musk going to actually be able to cut the government bureaucracy down enough so that we don't have to deal with all of these regulations, and maybe we can actually see innovation happen in the crypto space so that this industry can go on to change the world? Either way, thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. But most importantly, don't forget to do only good every day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.